They were once Hollywood's most beautiful, powerful, and untouchable. Faces that ruled red carpets, names that guaranteed fame, fortune, and admiration. But time, scandal, and self-destruction show no mercy. In this video, we uncover shocking before and after transformations of stars who fell from the highest peaks of fame to lives few could have imagined. These aren't just stories of aging. They're warnings about what fame, pressure, and excess can do to a person. Stay until the end because the final downfall may leave you speechless. There are ordinary downfalls, and then there is the collapse of Marlon Brando. A man who didn't just succeed in Hollywood, but reshaped it entirely. In the 1950s, Brando was more than a movie star. He was a cultural revolution. With performances in A Streetcar Named Desire and On the Waterfront, he brought raw emotion, vulnerability, and realism to the screen, changing acting forever. His voice, his gaze, his physical presence made him magnetic. Women adored him, men idolized him, and Hollywood surrendered to his genius. But brilliance came with excess. As fame grew, discipline faded. By the 1970s, when The Godfather briefly revived his career, Brando's physical decline was already visible. Weight gain, exhaustion, and indulgence replaced the sharp intensity that once defined him. During Apocalypse Now, he arrived unprepared and severely overweight, forcing filmmakers to shoot him in shadows to hide his transformation. What followed bordered on myth. On the island of Dr. Moreau, his behavior became infamous. Bizarre demands, strange costumes, and erratic conduct that terrified directors and exhausted co-stars. Off-screen, tragedy consumed him. His son went to prison, his daughter took her own life, and Brando retreated into isolation on his private island. By the end, he weighed nearly 400 pounds, rarely left home, and lived surrounded by memories and regret. Brando died in 2004, leaving behind a broken body but an immortal legacy, and a haunting reminder of the price genius can demand when left unchecked. For more than 4 decades, Madonna has been the ultimate symbol of reinvention, power, and provocation. From the moment she exploded onto the scene in the 1980s, she refused to follow rules, rewriting pop music, fashion, and female sexuality on her own terms. No one controlled their image with more confidence or commanded attention with such fearless authority. Madonna didn't just perform, she dominated. But time is the one force even icons can't defeat. As the years passed, the woman who once challenged age itself began fighting a quieter, more desperate battle. Now in her late 60s, Madonna appears determined to outrun aging through filters, cosmetic procedures, and constant reinvention. Her face, smooth and tightly sculpted, often looks frozen between eras, silently declaring her refusal to disappear. What once felt rebellious now feels unsettling. Fans who grew up inspired by her confidence are left confused by awkward social media posts, strange TikTok dances, and an image that blurs the line between bold expression and denial. On stage, the contrast is striking. The lights still shine, but her body no longer moves with the same ease or power. The real tragedy isn't vanity, it's lost potential. Madonna had the chance to redefine aging for women in pop culture, turning experience into authority. Instead, fear of irrelevance has kept her trapped. In the end, it isn't time that ages icons, it's the fear of being forgotten. There was a time in the late 1970s and early 1980s when Chevy Chase seemed unstoppable. Tall, handsome, and effortlessly funny, he wasn't just a comedian, he was Hollywood's golden boy. As one of the breakout stars of Saturday Night Live, Chase turned physical comedy into an art form. His iconic pratfalls, quick wit, and leading roles in Caddyshack and National Lampoon's Vacation made him box office royalty. Audiences loved him, and studios trusted his name to sell tickets. But behind the laughter, problems were already brewing. Chevy's rising fame came with an equally rising ego. Clashes with writers, co-stars, and producers followed him from set to set. His abrupt exit from Saturday Night Live left burned bridges, and a notorious backstage fight with Bill Murray cemented his reputation as difficult. Over time, that reputation began to overshadow his talent. Years later, the sitcom Community offered a chance at redemption. Instead, old habits resurfaced. Off-color jokes, biting remarks, and growing tension with cast members like Donald Glover and creator Dan Harmon once again pushed him to the margins. What could have been a triumphant comeback became another cautionary tale. Today, in his early 80s, Chevy Chase lives quietly in upstate New York. Slower, visibly aged, and far from the spotlight, he remains defiant, insisting he has no regrets. Once the king of perfectly choreographed falls, the only fall he couldn't control was his own. In the 1980s and 1990s, Val Kilmer wasn't just a movie star, he was a phenomenon. With striking looks, intense charisma, and undeniable talent, he dominated the screen in films like Top Gun, The Doors, and Batman Forever. His sharp jawline and commanding presence made him a symbol of Hollywood perfection, while his dedication to his craft marked him as a serious artist, not just a pretty face. Behind the scenes, however, Kilmer's brilliance often came with volatility. He clashed with directors, disappeared from sets, and developed a reputation for being difficult to work with. Joel Schumacher publicly called him challenging, and Tommy Lee Jones famously told him he could not tolerate his behavior. In an industry that values control as much as talent, Kilmer slowly became his own worst enemy. Then came a battle no ego could outfight. Throat cancer struck, forcing multiple surgeries, including a tracheotomy, and aggressive treatments that permanently damaged his voice and altered his appearance. The man once known for powerful dialogue was left communicating through technology, his body visibly scarred by survival. Instead of hiding, Kilmer chose honesty. His documentary, Val, offered an intimate look at decades of personal footage, revealing vulnerability, regret, and reflection. When he returned in Top Gun Maverick, it wasn't about reclaiming fame, but closure. Val Kilmer didn't lose himself to illness. He shed illusion, found peace, and turned acceptance into his most powerful performance yet. There was a time when Lindsay Lohan was America's sweetheart. By her late teens, she had everything Hollywood could offer. She was talented, radiant, and effortlessly charming, turning films like Freaky Friday and Mean Girls into cultural touchstones. Studios predicted a future filled with awards and longevity, and fans believed she would grow into the next great leading lady. But fame arrived faster than maturity. The same cameras that once adored her soon became relentless predators. Paparazzi followed every step, capturing endless nights of parties, flashing lights, and reckless decisions. Too young to understand that fame comes with no protection, Lindsay spiraled publicly. DUIs, mugshots, rehab stays, and broken relationships became headlines, replacing talent with spectacle. Addiction aged her quickly. Exhaustion replaced innocence, and cosmetic procedures failed to undo the damage caused by stress and substance abuse. Hollywood, unforgiving as ever, moved on. Roles disappeared, and the industry that built her image quietly discarded her. Yet Lindsay's story didn't end in disappearance. She stepped away from Los Angeles, building a quieter life far from the spotlight. In Dubai, she found stability, married, became a mother, and slowly rebuilt herself. At 39, she returned carefully, starring in Netflix films like Falling for Christmas. Her beauty may have changed and her fame may have faded, but her survival tells a deeper story. Lindsay Lohan lived the full Hollywood cycle: rise, fall, and something far rarer, redemption. Steven Seagal once represented a very specific fantasy of American action cinema. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, he wasn't just another tough guy, he was presented as authentic. With his jet-black hair, calm intensity, and mastery of Aikido, Seagal brought a quiet, intimidating presence to films like Under Siege and Hard to Kill. He didn't shout or rush. He moved with precision, and audiences believed he was genuinely dangerous. But legends don't age as gracefully as myths suggest. Over time, the physical reality began to challenge the image. The speed faded, the strength softened, and the once commanding presence grew stiff. Now in his 70s, Seagal often appears as a parody of his former self. Viral clips of choreographed martial arts demonstrations, where assistants dramatically fall at his slightest movement, have turned fear into mockery. Off-screen, the damage ran deeper. Long-standing accusations of sexual misconduct from multiple actresses permanently stained his reputation, effectively closing Hollywood's doors. As his career declined, Seagal drifted further from American pop culture, relocating to Russia, gaining citizenship, and publicly aligning himself with Vladimir Putin. The action hero, once seen as a symbol of justice, became a strange political figure. Today, Seagal appears in low-budget, straight-to-video films, often sitting through scenes as stunt performers handle the action. The dyed hair, painted beard, and identical black outfits feel like armor, protecting the illusion of an invincible warrior the world has already left behind. There was a time when Nick Nolte embodied everything Hollywood admired in a leading man. Rugged, magnetic, and emotionally complex, he defined a raw, masculine energy throughout the 1970s and 1980s. Films like 48 Hours, The Prince of Tides, and Down and Out in Beverly Hills proved that toughness and vulnerability could coexist. In 1992, People magazine crowned him the sexiest man alive, a title that now feels like a snapshot from another lifetime. Years later, the image changed dramatically. Nolte emerged looking weathered and exhausted, his once commanding presence softened by time and hardship. His decline wasn't just physical, it was chemical. Decades of alcohol and drug abuse slowly dismantled the man behind the roles. In 2002, a single mugshot captured the collapse: disheveled hair, vacant eyes, and a Hawaiian shirt that turned a sex symbol into a symbol of public ruin. But that infamous photo wasn't the end. Nolte later admitted to a near-fatal addiction to GHB, describing it as a personal hell. Sobriety saved his life, but it left permanent scars. Now in his 80s, Nolte looks like a character shaped by storms, bent, weathered, and strangely wise. He walks slower, speaks softer, and appears less often, but when he does, the room listens. Nick Nolte didn't age badly. He aged honestly, carrying every consequence openly, and turning survival into quiet dignity. These stories remind us that fame is never a shield against time, pressure, or consequence. Behind the red carpets and flashing lights are real people, shaped by choices, mistakes, and the relentless weight of public life. Some fell, some survived, and a few found redemption by finally embracing the truth of who they became. Hollywood celebrates perfection, but these transformations reveal something far more powerful: honesty. If this video made you rethink celebrity fame and aging, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories. Drop a comment below and tell us which story affected you most.